the Revisionary Podcast with your host, Juan Carlos. The Revisionary Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Revisionary Podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Juan Carlos. Thank you very much for those of you who support this podcast. I really appreciate you, especially those of you guys who listen week in and week out. You guys really are the true MVPs, and you guys are the reason that I do this show. You know, you guys are really carry. Don't tell other people, but you guys are secretly my favorite. Okay? So that's a secret between us. So I'm really excited for this week's guest. We actually have Bella Hadid joining us on the podcast. You know what? I'm just kidding. But we have someone equally as cool. We have Bella Biscotti joining us. Bella is actually a drag queen from Westchester County. So for those New Yorkers out there, shout out to Westchester 914 all day, every day. You know who you guys are. Here we are representing. And I'm really excited to have Bella on this podcast. I've actually never really had an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with a drag queen. So I have a lot of questions that, so I want to ask. I just want to understand the art form and, learn as much about it as I can. So without further ado, let's see if we can get Bella on the line. Hey, Bella, how are you?
What's up? Hello.
How are you doing? Thank you so much, and welcome to the Revisionary Podcast.
Baby, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
No, any single time. The pleasure's all mine. So what have you been up to during in your free time lately?
Oh, lots of Pornhub, no, I'm just kidding. No, it's in quarantine, really, honestly, has given me, it's actually taken away all of my excuses. I'm at home. It's case, I make clothing and I do makeup and I do make projects and all these things. And so that's really what I am talking about, because getting motivated to do stuff and to create is really hard sometimes, but right. I'm focusing now.
So you said you make clothing and makeup?
Well, I'm a drag queen. So I do all that stuff myself. I do make my own hair, I do my own makeup, I make all my own outfits, and I make costumes for other people too. I sing, I write parody songs, All right, I'm going to need you to stop. You're going to make me look better. I have one talent. That's it.
So how did you... Okay, let's start with the makeup, right? Did you start doing makeup because of doing drag, or did you start doing drag and then you're like, oh, I can also do makeup? Like, how did that work?
That's a very good question. You know what's so interesting? Actually, the makeup came first.
Okay.
I never, I guess I never thought of it that way. But if I do look back on it, sure, I was doing makeup first. I remember in college, I took a theater makeup class. And so that was really what got me into it. I also do some like special effects makeup, like old age and gore, fantasy, all that stuff. And so I was doing that. And then a friend of mine once said, have you ever done like a glamour makeup? Like, do you want to be a woman? And I said, what? And so he sat down with me and we did, and he kind of showed me how he did his makeup to get into drag. I said, wow, I'm actually kind of good at this. And yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't think of it that way. But it is artistry, yeah.
No, I mean, look, it's impressive. I couldn't do anyone's makeup. True story. I once got invited over to my friend's apartment, right? It was just the three of us, two girls and I, we were having dinner. And they were having girls' night after, so I was supposed to leave. But girls' night started and I didn't leave the apartment quick enough. So I got involved in the makeup process and I tried to do the cat eyes?
Sure, okay.
And they were the most slanted cat eyes that anyone has ever seen. It was awful. I couldn't do it.
It's really about how you wear the makeup. It's all beauty comes from within, isn't that the truth? So even with the wonky eye, you can still, if you feel beautiful, you'll look beautiful. That's what I mean.
Look, they were naturally beautiful. I'm saying that I screwed up their makeup when I tried to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm applying makeup.
Well, we all start somewhere. I'm sure I've seen some baby queens more busted than even what you did. So not too bad.
So now, how did you get started in this whole world? Like, because was this your ultimate goal? Did you always intend to go into drag?
I guess so. I mean, it did start slow and then it kept going. I realized, I do have a knack for this. I do like it. I like going out in drag. I mean, that's a whole other thing too. I mean, stepping out of the house in heels for the first time, you feel like, I don't know, my whole body was shaking. Everything, it seemed to see the world differently almost when you
Right.
are somebody else, or when you're dressed like somebody else. It's a different way of seeing things, and people reacted to me differently, and I like it. I don't know. It was kind of exciting, and I like to perform. I sing and stuff like that, so it gives me an excuse to have a microphone in a gay bar. I mean, how fun is that, So it's exciting.
So for those that are listening and don't necessarily know what drag is, could you walk us through what drag is and what a drag show actually is?
Well, drag is what you make it, right? I mean, you can say it's female impersonation, or you can say that it's a character. There's all different types of drag. There's as many types of drag as there are drag queens. But essentially, right. I mean, you dress like a woman, usually. I mean, there's drag kings too, of course, so women dressing as men. And there's also many subcategories, of course. But it's entertainment. That's what it really is.
Right.
At the bottom line. You go to a bar and you entertain people. You make people laugh. You sing and dance. You dazzle them with your amazing good looks. And you get paid for it.
Yeah.
It's a job. It's an entertainment job.
Okay. So you are looking back at your career someday. What do you want to have accomplished?
Oh, man. I would like to meet the Obamas, of course. I think that's, anybody's, crown jewel.
Sure.
But really, I really not, other than any kind of celebrity things, I just want to be able to say that I made people laugh and that they felt my energy and it helped them in some way. I think that's very cool. I'm sure you can kind of relate to that. I mean,
Absolutely.
Drag is drag and whatever, but anything in the entertainment realm is about uplifting people and sharing your energy. And so that's what I want to have done.
So let me rephrase the question a little bit. What I mean is do you want to be like an actor in movies? Do you want to go into what is your, you know what I mean? Where are you trying to head down career wise?
That's a fabulous question. I'm open. I'm open to it. What do I want would be, all of it. I would do it all. I would want it all. I'll start an OnlyFans if that's what it takes. I'll take any sort of attention people would like to pay me.
Okay, that's fair. No, because for me, for example, I've constantly said that what I want when all's said and done is I'd like to have my own show. I'd like to host my own show where I bring on guests and talk to them and interview them. Hence why we're here.
Yeah. No, that's great. I used to think what I wanted to do would be to have to host a show of singing. That's my main thing in drag is to sing. And so I would love to host a live singing drag show that would tour and that would go over and I would be able to also perform myself and also give other queens spots and a chance to perform. So that would be really, really cool. But I don't want to just stop there. I think there's so many things now, especially quarantine is making me realize there's this whole virtual world of performance. So what does that mean? You don't always want to be working for somebody else, right? So you want to be able to control your own destiny. So however I could do that, be my own boss.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, let me not take you too much away from this. Bella, the stage is yours. Go ahead and tell us your story.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, my story begins 2 summers ago. I worked for the entire summer out in Fire Island. Now, if you don't know what Fire Island is, it's a sort of destination spot. It's literally an actual island, a tiny little island off of Long Island. And it's so small that there aren't even any cars on the island. Everything is just connected by these wooden boardwalks. There's beautiful, gorgeous summer homes, a couple bars, a restaurant, and that's it. And so when you work out there, you stay there for the summer because it's so isolated. You have to take a ferry to get on and off. And you stay in staff housing and you're just kind of there for months at a time.
Right.
So anyway, I'm there for the summer. I was a server and a bartender working at the restaurant. And one night, actually it was a daytime. It was during the day. I get on Grindr, which is gay hookup app. Meet this couple. Okay. Gorgeous. Older than me, I'd say their late 30s. Beautiful. Okay. Chiseled. Perfect in every way. Okay.
Right.
And they say, come over. Like, let's hang out. Let's come by the pool, and see where things go. So stop me at any point, by the way, if you have questions.
Go ahead, I will. Trust me.
Anyway, go over, see that the house that they're in is one of like the biggest, most beautiful ones on the whole island. And there's some real nice, like newly, completely renovated. The pool is sparkling. Everything is like fresh and new.
Right.
So we're hanging out. It's gorgeous. We're hitting it off. Turns out one of the dudes of the couple is like a head honcho at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And the other dude is like an executive at VH1.
So what's going through your head when you find this out?
Right, like I didn't know that going over. So I just said, "Oh, you are. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, wow. Well, did you know? I mean, I do drag and this, that, the other. I mean, I finessed it way, way better than that. But
you were more elegant with your words, eloquent.
Excuse me, I certainly was. And so I'm just thinking, well, damn, like this could be, we're hitting it off. If they like me enough, who knows? I mean, Drag Race airs on VH1, connection. It's all about who you know, right?
Right.
So, long story short, I say, oh, okay. Let's keep going. I'm making them laugh. All my jokes are landing. We're really hitting it off. I look great, by the way. This is like peak slim thickness, okay, at this time. I was looking good.
Got it.
So we're drinking, having fun. Eventually they say, let's go up to the room. I say, okay, that's a great idea.
Hold on. So were you working when you met them?
Oh, this is like during the day. So like before, like my shift started at like 5 or 6 or something.
Oh, so you were just hanging out at the bar where you worked?
Oh, no, they're at their house at the pool.
Got it. You met them on Grindr and went over to their house. Got it.
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Yes. I flip-flopped my way over to their house that they were staying. Because what people do is they'll stay there for a week or two at a time. Like they'll rent out these houses, usually like a group of people. They'll rent out a house for the week because it's all on the beach. It's kind of a getaway sort of a vibe, right? So that's where I'm at. I'm at this house that they had rented, but it was one of the most beautiful ones on the island. Everything was freshly renovated and gorgeous. And you'll see why that's important later. However, that's where I find myself, right? So that's when they're like, all right, let's go up to the room and kind of see where things go. I'm feeling good about myself because, first of all, we had done many, many drinks. And you know what? We'll just for drinking, okay?
Hold on. So were you... So is this something you did often at the time, like engaging with couples?
I wouldn't say often, but I would say with some regularity.
So you were comfortable with the situation. You never felt like, like pressure or anything like that. You were just good to go.
Oh no, I was roaring and ready. If anything, I was probably going to scare them off. If anything, you know what I mean? No, they're good, but they were cool too. I mean, they were older. They kind of told me that they're open. When they're on vacation, they like to take in a third, etc., a stray, if you will. And so I was feeling very comfortable and good. That's also very gay. I feel like it's a very gay thing. You know what I mean? People, it's like, men are dogs. So I'm at the house and we go up to the room. We have another drink. Things start to get a little frisky and they close the blinds. So things are a little, even though it's during the day, it's like a little dark, we couldn't really see. And we get down to business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Real good. Things are going great. I'll save you the details. However, I was, let's say, the submissive of the two. I let them enjoy the fruits of my loins, if you will.
So were you what do they call it? The bottom?
The bottom. Very, very good. Yes.
I read a book or two.
Yeah, you got, all right, yeah. So I was the bottom, right? Dude slamming it from the back, flipping me up and down. I'm on the bed, I'm on the floor, etc., etc.
Right.
And eventually, my big booty cakes had the one dude busting, okay? If I can be so brash, okay?
Right.
He gets up, so the one dude finishes, he gets up, and then, like, I see him sort of like pause and like just sort of look around and be like, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I get up to switch positions to help the other guy finish, and that's when we all three of us like we all see it at the same time.
Oh no!
The room is covered in shit.
Oh,
Bro, I had on the new cream color carpet, the beautiful white bedspread, okay? The love seat on that we had done things on.
yeah.
Destroyed. I mean, bro, destroyed.
Wait,
I don't know where it came from or how it got there.
but it was yours.
Oh, it was all mine. Oh, it was all me, baby. I can take credit for every inch of that.
And how did you not smell it?
I think it was the thing where it's like you're in the moment. We had been drinking, like blah blah blah, but it was that kind of thing where like as soon as we all saw it, we smelled it. You know what I mean? Like it all kind of just at the same time just rushed in. And the other dude like opens the blinds a little bit so we can see it better. Like we can just kind of like assess. And it was a crime scene, bro. It really was. And that's the best way I could put it. So that's pretty horrific and embarrassing. And by the way, I really wasn't so embarrassed about like the poop of it all.
Right.
I was really more concerned about, I mean, this love seat is probably like $5,000 or $6,000. You know, this duvet cover alone on this big, beautiful king bed is, you know, thousands of dollars. I mean, I just like ruined probably like $20,000 worth. I mean, the carpet was like a medium pile shag.
Yeah.
So it looks like, you know, when like a dog hair gets a little matted with the poopsies.
Uh-huh.
It was like that, but like, you know, smear that on a brand new white carpet.
Oh,
I mean, really, it was real bad. It was really bad. It wasn't great. Now, do you have any more questions? Do you have any follow-up questions?
I do. No, hold on. We have questions here. No, we're going to dive into this one. So, first question is, at what point did you go, okay, well, there goes VH1? Like, at what point did that hit you?
Yeah, it really was that. It was that moment of, I saw the dude get up, I saw his face just change as he sort of looked around, and then it was just kind of that slow realization of, oh, this ain't cute. This is not it. And by the way, they were so nice about it, very cute about it. They were very understanding. However, I could tell they were pissed. I mean, they were not happy with the way things are going down.
I can't say that I blame them. Did you have to help pay for some of the damage?
Hell no! Cedar Sinai can take care of that, please. No, VH1 money, they got it. It's fine. I'm working for pennies at Fire Island. I'm sleeping in a bunk bed in staff housing for a summer. They can take care of it. But you know, and it's like it's a rental house, so I don't know. I'm sure they figured it out. I'm sure they were fine.
Okay. So let's. Okay. I'm trying to get back on board. I think more than anything, I'm going to be honest with you. This is funny. It's what it is to me. You know, it's a funny story. Have you kept in contact since? Have you ever talked to them? Like,
wait, that's the best part. I completely so let me actually just finish because that's a very good question. So. What I do is essentially I just run to the bathroom, sort of clean up as best I can.
Yeah.
I'm just like, sorry, bro. Like, gotta go to work. Like, catch you later, right? The next day, it's Sunday brunch. Of course, who do I see sitting in my section? These two dudes. No. So I have to be there later, like all for brunch the next day. Acting as if like I'm just like the coolest, hottest, you know, bartender, like making them. I'm like, oh my god, this ain't it.
Yeah. So was it awkward? Like walk me through that.
Oh yeah, bro. I felt it was not good. It was very awkward. No, I didn't say anything, but it was just, imagine if you had just pooped on someone's bedspread and then you had to be their server the next day. I mean, it's really it's quite clean cut, I think.
But I can't relate. I've never had this problem.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Okay, so, okay. Wow. Okay. So what happened? Like, this is why. Let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
I watch a lot of TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 80% of my knowledge comes from TV, and so if I'm wrong here, just correct me.
Yes.
I apologize in advance. But aren't you like? I watched a TV show where there was a similar issue. And aren't you supposed to take an enema or something like that beforehand, or like?
Fleet enema. Well, first of all, I'm very impressed with your gay knowledge, sir. I'll tell the rest of the troops. Okay, that we have an ally here. I sent it out in the newsletter.
I get invited to the barbecue or whatever it is.
Yeah, the orgy.
Oh no.
What was the question? Oh, yes, of course. Well, see, here's the thing about that is if you do it every time, you mess up the floral and fauna of your system, right? I mean, should I have done it that one time? Yes, probably. Yeah. But if I'm gonna be douching every time I'm trying to get busy, it's too much. It's not good for you. You can't be doing that. You can't be shoving salt water up inside you every time.
Okay.
So sometimes you take a gamble and a risk, and this one time certainly did not pay off, unfortunately, for me.
I see that. So,
although I will say, for any young, or actually anybody who does want to play in the backyard, I do suggest getting to know your body, know the schedules of when you eat. Also, I've been eating Fire Island restaurant food for the past 2 months before this, so my system wasn't doing great. So get to know your body. You can really learn when you need to take care of things and when you can probably just fake it till you make it.
That's fair. So true story. The only reason I know that is because there's I forget what it is. It's some Netflix show where this kid, his mom is a sex therapist, and he pretends to be like a therapist, and that was like one of the plot lines, was that one of the characters was gay and was struggling with his sexuality, but had never met a gay man before, and he didn't know how to go about it.
He pooped on a dick.
I don't remember if that happened, but what I mean more is he just didn't even know how to even initiate, a sexual relationship. So I think that was one of the plot lines. That's how I learned that.
Well, look at you. You see, not everything you see on TV is a lie.
No. I mean, that's why I asked. I was like, all right, this could be horribly wrong, and I'm just about to embarrass myself, or I'm spot on, either or. But all right, moving on. So, what? Okay, so now you pick up your stuff. You run out. What did you do next? Did you go home? Did you tell anybody? What were those reactions like? Like, what happened there?
Oh, my roommate laughed at me, bro, because I was actually, my real good friend was working with him, and we shared a bunk bed in the staff housing, and we had to work together that night and also brunch the next day.
Right.
And so, of course, I told him right away what happened, because it was hilarious, bro. And look, it's part of the whole thing, so I can't be that humiliated. I mean, come on, But it was funny, though. Oh my God, everyone. And then, of course, word spreads like wildfire. So the whole staff, by the end of the weekend, knew what had happened. Which is, I'll wear it like a badge of honor. I was in the trenches.
Is there any concern that they might listen to this episode when it airs?
Oh, hilarious. You know what? I'm sure it'll be on the VH1 morning memo for them to watch this episode and listen to what their executives are involved in.
I mean, you never know. You know what I mean? I'm surprised sometimes by who listens to what and where and what the reach of things are. That's why I asked.
Hey, if they are listening, I'm booked and blessed. So if you need, I'm available for all bookings. I could play it. Oh, look, I could put a little nurse skirt on, and I could even go to Cedars-Sinai. Why not? Maybe combine the two. Maybe the VH1 guy. It could be like a reality show. They'll send a camera guy. I'll dress up like a nurse. I'll go see the other dude at Cedars-Sinai. It'll be a whole thing, and I'll play a nurse for a day. Oh, we can play a doctor.
Wait, were you? Sorry, I should have asked this earlier. I assumed you weren't, so that's why I didn't. But you weren't in drag for any of this, were you?
Oh no! This is boy, just a boy. Yeah.
So okay, and so if you showed up in a nurse's office and all dolled up, do you think he'd recognize you?
Gag. You know what? I would make sure he did. I would say, "Hey, remember that time I smeared myself all over your bedroom?" No, I think it's funny now. Even if they did listen or even if they did recognize me, I mean, whatever. I think we can laugh it off. I mean, actually, I had one of them. While I was just before we even got busy, like while I was just hanging out, we had followed each other on Instagram, and we actually still follow each other. So every once in a while, like I'll see a picture of him. I don't know if he sees me. I don't know what his timeline is like or anything, but it is a little jab of a reminder every time I see a picture. Though it is kind of like, oh, yep, pooped on him.
Please tell me it's the VH1 guy.
Oh, of course it is.
Of course it makes this so much better. I'm loving this story, by the way. Okay. This is. I don't mean to. I don't mean to sound sadistic, is what it is, but it's a good story because I feel like it's a common fear with a lot of people, and you had to live it out in one of the more crucial moments because had things gone well, you could have again had your own show right now.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So now let's backtrack a little bit here. If you had the opportunity to change any facts or details about your story, what would you change? And let's try not to change the actual event because that kind of defeats the fun in this.
Okay, so here we go. So we'll let's do this. So we'll retell it with things going differently.
Right.
First off, I am extremely wealthy, but I decide to have a cultural moment and work for a summer out on Fire Island, famous gay Fire Island.
Right.
I'm living in beautiful housing. Everything is great. I go on Grindr and meet up with this couple at their house, which is beautiful, newly renovated and gorgeous. My fat booty is glistening off of the pool water.
Right.
And we hit it off and it's going great. They invite me up to the room. We start getting busy. Everything is great. I'm a porn star in the bedroom. I am doing flips and tricks, cartwheels. I'm jumping off the balcony and climbing up the rope again, climbing back into the window. Okay, that's how good I am.
Right.
In this version of the story.
Of course, you're super athletic. I get it.
And my athleticism is my muscles are rippling. Okay?
Oh.
I am involved in intercourse with one of the gentlemen, and of course, things go awry, and we notice there is excrement all over the room.
Right.
But what's so funny, it turns out, though, they laugh, and they say, guess what? This is actually our kink. We love that you did this. In fact, we were too embarrassed and shy to tell you beforehand, but we were kind of hoping that you had Alfredo the night before because we actually were hoping for just something just like this to happen. I say, oh, word.
Oh my God.
I say, oh, wow, what a beautiful turn of events, because it turns out I am, plenty more of that came from. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, I make them finish and climax better than they had all summer. They fall in love with me. They say, wow, thank you for a beautiful day, and thank you for coming over. Here is a card with my number. Email me tomorrow, and I'll have a gig for you. He emails me back the next day. He says, just because you performed so perfectly with us,
right,
we're going to name you co-chairman of, I don't know, what's a VH1. Hey, they say you're going to be the co-chairman of the gay diversity at VH1.
Perfect.
Which if that doesn't exist, I am willing to.
Because you were so wonderful that they just created the position for you. I see it.
Yes. Isn't that something? Isn't that incredible how that happened? So I live the rest of my days. I say, and the next day, I don't go to brunch. I don't go to work. I say, screw you, Fire Island. I got a new gig, and I'm a VH1 girl now. And so I leave the bunk beds. I leave my roommate behind. I say, see you later. Stay here, be gay without me, because I got bigger gays to blow or something. And I start my long, lengthy career at VH1, and I become a very famous drag queen, and the rest of my life is easy because I pooped on the right dick.
Okay, let me back you up here. So walk me through what you think would have happened if you didn't poop on them.
Oh, well, that would be boring. I mean, I'm sure it would have been great. I'm sure I still would have had to see them and been their server at brunch the next day. But, they had been there for the rest of the week. So, I probably could have gotten a few more sessions out of it.
No, but
to be frank.
I'm saying, well, awesome. But what I mean is long term, do you think your life would have been any different?
Well, I mean, the truth is, we could joke about it, but kind of, because it is about who you know. If because things were going so cool, not just sexually, but just we were hitting it off. I was making them laugh. They kept asking me questions. They wanted to know more. The dude followed me on Instagram. It was very going in that direction. So It really could have been a connection and someone to know in the business. I mean, it could have really been something. But I flushed that possibility.
Yeah. So now, okay. So walk me through this scenario. What do you think? Do you think there was any possibility that you could have isolated one or the other? Or was it always going to have to be a couple thing?
No, yeah. Oh, no. I'm not interested in any of that. No, they're the kind of guys that, they've been married, were together for 10 years. They recently gotten married. They're long-term...
No, I didn't mean break them up.
Oh, is that... what did you mean?
No, I didn't mean that at all. I just meant, could there be versions of the story where you could have met one of the guys, and do you think that would have affected the events that happened later? Do you think any of it had to do with being with two people at the same time?
Oh, maybe. I mean, they were plowing my guts pretty good, and that was times two. So if it was only one, if I only had to handle one of them, maybe. But something tells me if something had to come out, it was coming out.
I guess what I was wondering more was maybe if you weren't focused, your attention wasn't split on two people. Maybe you would have realized when it started and been able to contain it a little better.
I will not be sex shamed.
No,
I'm just kidding. No, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it could have been, but but you know what? No, I'm gonna say actually no, because if something has to exit, it is usually an emergency. It's like in a plane when the emergency chute comes out. It's you got if it's coming out, if things are coming out, it's coming out, and there's a good reason for it. You can't stop it.
You know what I mean? That is absolutely very fair. Okay.
But are there any children listening? Has anybody, or maybe elderly conservatives listening to your podcast?
I've looked at the numbers, and I can honestly say that my biggest demographic is that 23 to 34-year-olds. So that's really the bulk of my.
Oh, that's. You know what? That's people are getting. That's exactly perfect.
Yeah.
23 to 34, they love butt stuff. That's okay. So we're right into this is great.
No, don't worry about it. I do think that I've also looked at them. Are there people 60 plus who listen? Absolutely. Are there people younger than 18 who listen? Yes. I don't know where their parents are, but they do listen.
Yeah. They probably shouldn't be.
Right, but all I can do is flag it as explicit, and then trust everyone else's parental instincts to raise their child as they see fit. That's I can't control people. So okay, I noticed that when you retell the story, you mentioned that you would be fabulously wealthy, but you also mentioned that you would have quit your job. So would you have done the job as just like something for fun because you had the money, you didn't need the work?
Oh, I was treating it as a cultural experiment. I wanted to see how the gays lived in the wild for a summer. That's all. Yeah, the money was sort of incidental.
Right. Okay, I see it. Here's another question for you. So in this retail again, because you have money, say you had the big beautiful house, right? They come over, same experience happens, but it happens at your home. How are things different then?
That's lovely. I would throw everything away. I swear to God, I don't care if I just remember that love seat, that $5,000 love seat.
Yeah,
goodbye, it's gone.
Right.
The Egyptian cotton duvet cover, garbage. Okay, it's done. So I wouldn't be quite so intent on cleaning it for anybody, because if it's my stuff, I'm throwing it away. Mm-hmm. But would I have been quite as embarrassed? Yeah, probably I would have. I think I probably would have.
How quickly do you think they would have run out of your place?
Yeah, that's probably more embarrassing. Just like them just being like, hey, we gotta go. I forgot we have dinner plans. Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't blame them, not for a second.
So let me ask you this: would it have been almost worse? What if they didn't leave right away? What if they were like, "Oh, okay," and they're just like awkwardly hung around for a little bit? Then what would happen next?
You know what though? I don't think. See, I wish they would have, because I don't think it would be so awkward. Because once you sort of can laugh at something like this, then it's kind of a funny story. Like, take the humiliation out of it, and I don't know, clean up, take a shower, and try again. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, you mentioned that they were nice about it. Clearly, they were upset about it, right? But do you think if you hadn't run out so quickly that you could have maybe fixed it?
Well, I will be honest. I actually did sort of kind of suss the situation first to see if I because I hadn't finished yet. Okay, I had not finished yet, so I was not quite ready to leave, even though it clearly was my time to go. I sort of did that thing of like, I went to the bathroom, cleaned up real quick. I said, and I did that thing of like, how are you guys feeling? What do you? I really did try to shoot my shot, even after realizing everything was covered in poops. Look, it's part of the deal.
Yeah.
But I did try to stick around a little longer just to see if they would have me.
as you should have. Again, that's a life-changing connection. No,
I try my best.
All right, love it. Love it. Okay. We have a tradition here on this podcast, right? Where at the end of every episode, we like to end it by asking for a quick childhood story that puts a smile on your face or just makes you feel warm inside. Do you have a childhood story that you can share with us?
Oh, well, I did the same thing, but on my sister's bed. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Something just something that a warm story.
Yeah, just like a nice story.
You know what's interesting? Every Thanksgiving, my grandmother would make managat from scratch. So, make the pasta, the filling, bake it. It was very labor intensive, but it was the most beautiful pasta dish you've ever would experience in your life. Really, truly, and I really mean that. And I've had managat at restaurants a million times, but it's never the same, of course, as how my grandmother would make it. And I do have this memory of one Thanksgiving. She was there and finishing up everything in the kitchen. We're all sitting down, and it's kind of cheesy and corny, or whatever. But it was one of the years where really everyone in my family was there. Everyone could make it that year, and so I was really kind of looking around and sitting at the table. And you really just look around, and you're like, "Wow, this is my family." And we have. There are certain things in every family that really unify everybody. Mm-hmm. And even at that time, this is when I was a kid, I wasn't out of the closet yet or anything. I was very gay back then, of course, but I felt distant from my family in a lot of ways. But this memory I have of being at the table, eating the managat, everyone is just happy and sitting there.
Yeah.
It's like a place, it's like a mindset that I can kind of go back to and still feel that in my body, like how the taste of it, the feeling of it, the warmth of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, is that corny and lame? Whatever.
No, not at all. I think it's very sweet because what you're doing is like, this is a happy moment in your family life that you're just cherishing. I think there's something very sweet about that.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons it really stood out too is, like I said, when you are gay, sometimes you feel even separate from your family,
Sure.
But there are moments like that where really you just are connected, and it's a good feeling.
So, wow! First and foremost, thank you for sharing that. The other tradition that we have is we like to end every episode by highlighting a charity or an organization that our guest is passionate about. Do you have one for us?
Oh, yeah. So definitely it's called the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. And it is an organization that helps Black trans people. And they do such good work. I mean, you can look more into it, look them up. It is, Black trans women in particular are really one of the most marginalized and victimized groups in our country, and we need to give them their voice and have their needs heard and their community heard, and that's what this does, and it really helps protect the lives of these people who deserve protection.
I'm glad that you actually highlighted that one because in an earlier episode we highlighted the Okra Project, which seems to do similar work. So I think it's great that this is an issue that keeps getting brought up because it is important to talk about and keep to the forefront because it's very easy to forget the struggles that these people face on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we let you go, two things. One, do you have any last words for our revisionaries? And two, where can we follow you and should we follow you?
Well, last words would be know your body, kids. And have safe sex. By safe sex, I mean, of course, use protection, of course, but also protect your emotions, darlings. I was able to rise above the situation and laugh at myself. I know that some other people would have a little more difficulty with that and could really be something that really derails. I mean, I told my roommate this, he goes, if that happened to me, I wouldn't have sex for a year after that. I'd be too scared. So protect yourselves. Have safe sex emotionally too. Have safe emotional sex. You know what I mean? Have protect yourselves. And follow me. Yes, please do. Just follow my Instagram, The Real Bella Biscotti. The Real Bella Biscotti. Follow me. I just hit 3,000 followers, which is a very exciting milestone for me.
Absolutely.
So please add to my growing number of loyal fans. It's so stupid, fans. I mean, come on.
Was there a fake Bella Biscotti? Is there somebody out impersonating you?
Well, she is mostly plastic, so you have to make the distinction.
Fair enough. Well, on that note, thank you so much for coming on the Revisionary Podcast, and I'm sure our revisionaries are going to love hearing from you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
The Revisionary Podcast.
Wow. Wow. You know what? That story was a lot, but I'm really glad that Bella was willing to open up and share that with us. That story just had a little bit of everything, huh? Didn't it? Just a little bit of everything. Well, why don't you guys tell us on social media, tell us what you thought about the story. Make sure you interact with us. And if you liked it, make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you're sharing and commenting and share some of these episodes with your friends so that they can become revisionaries and you guys can talk about your favorite stories together. As always, revisionaries, I really appreciate you guys week in and week out. And thank you for listening.
This is the